Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jose Tamayo for the Blind Tech channel. Today we're coming up with part 2 of setting up the NFB Newsline application. The NFB Newsline is a free application for your iOS device. Right now I'm using an iOS device, iPhone 7 Plus with iOS 10.2. And I want to show you that when you set up NFB Newsline, what you want to do is you want to call the number that's mentioned in the application, and somebody will call you back to give you 3 pieces of information. The first piece of information is going to be listed here, and I am going to show you. I have it here on a notepad, which I'm going to be switching to as we move through this tutorial. I am not going to share my ID for obvious reasons, but I'm going to just go through the tutorial so I can show you how to do this. I'm actually at the iPhone app, and I want to share with you that I'm at the top left-hand side of the screen here.
Back button.
All right, and I'm going to flick to my right.
Settings. Heading. App introduction. Button.
If you want to go through the app introduction, you can do that.
Manage favorites. Dimmed. Enter your NFB credentials.
All right, here's where we're going to enter our NFB credentials. Now that I've been verified, I'm going to give you that information and put it here so you can see what the setup is like. This is part 2, and part 3 is going to be a few more tutorials on how to use the application. But part 1 was the initial setup of the application, and then now part 2 is entering the credentials.
If you are not a current subscriber, call 866-504-7300. Link
Okay.
for more information.
So you definitely want to call them up if you are not yet a subscriber.
Subscriber ID.
Let's enter the subscriber ID, which I already have here.
Subscriber ID. Text field.
Now the text field is not enabled yet. I'm going to double tap here to enter.
Text field is editing. Subscriber ID. Insertion point at start.
All right.
Settings. Heading.
All right, so I'm going to enter my subscriber ID here. Okay, so now I've entered my subscriber ID.
Login. Audio login. Cancel. But security code. Security code. Text field.
All right, that's the subscriber ID, and I'm going to move on to the
Security code.
security code. This is usually a 4-digit code that you need.
Security code. Secure text field.
And I'm going to double tap here.
Insertion point at end.
And I'm going to type in the security code. I've typed in my security code, and I'm going to hit login here.
Secure text field. Cancel. Button. Login. Button.
There it is. I'm right flicking with my thumb finger. I'm going to hit login here.
Login. NFB Newsline Mobile. Heading.
All right, so let me hit left flick just to make sure that I'm at the top left-hand side of the screen here.
NFB Newsline Mobile. Heading.
Good. And I'm going to right flick here with my thumb finger since I'm holding my device with my right hand.
Publications. Button.
All right, let's check out the what's available here.
TV listings. Button. Weather. Button. Welcome Jose Tamayo. To read about the latest happenings at NFB Newsline, tap here. Button.
So if I want to read about the latest happenings, I'm going to tap there.
Send an email with your questions or comments to newslineios@nfb.org. Button.
Good. So you can double tap on that and get into your email to send them an email.
Settings. Button. Subscriptions. Button. Retail ads. Button. Help. Button. Retail ads. Button.
Let's see what that says.
Volume. Speaking rate. Headings. Words. Retail. Retail. Character. Cap RETAL. Space. Cap ADS.
Retail ads.
Help. Button. Help. Button.
And that's the last button, which is the help button. All right, so that completes the part 2 of our tutorial today. This is Jose Tamayo with part 2 of the NFB Newsline application. Again, part 1 was the initial setup and installation, and part 2 was setting up the application for access, okay? And you're going to need 2 pieces of information. You're going to need your ID number and your code, and you can get that when they call you back. This is Jose Tamayo for the Blind Tech channel, and thank you very much for being with us today. On the next episode of Blind Tech channel, we're going to cover, or actually the next part of this tutorial, we're going to cover a few more tips and tricks on using this application. Thank you and have a